When your mind becomes empty, huge amounts of cosmic energy are downloaded into your system. When your system downloads cosmic energy, then the whole system becomes repaired. All the blocks in the system go away, they disappear, they melt away, and you will have a pure, clear system with you. So, my dear friends, because of our negative thoughts, negative deeds, negative words that we have been indulging in, our system becomes blocked. So we have to purify, rectify our system, our whole energy body system. We are a huge energy body system. That energy body system must be cleansed. It is cleansed through the cosmic energy that we get in meditation. The moment you close your eyes and become one with your breath, cosmic energy begins to flow into you. That's the great secret of meditation. No chanting of any mantras. No thinking about any gods like Ramas and Krishnas or Jesuses. We are here to reconnect to our own selves, our own true source, our own center of gravity. We are here to connect to our own breath, the normal, natural, easy, soft, simple, tender, peaceful, tranquil breath. The breath is happening in the body. Now we have to become one with the happening of the body, called as the breath, breathing.
Good morning and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's program. We hope you are all doing good and ready for another wonderful session. We are delighted to have Sonal ma'am with us today as our teacher. Thank you for being here, ma'am. A very warm welcome to you and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bhavya. Good morning, dear friends. Good evening here in the West. Very warm welcome to all our dear friends and masters. And again, we're just mentoring each other, we're all a student in a lifelong learning university here. So thank you, my dear. Let's see, I'm trying to get all my things together. Okay, we have a wonderful topic today. It's about emotional intelligence and truly the measure of who we are as a human being, And it's a very elaborate topic and a very wonderful, life-changing for me personally. And I'm very excited to present also. And we have a beautiful presentation. We'll try to do best justice to beautiful presentation that they have. Relating and more catering to our life. In any professional programs or schools like medical profession or the nursing school or even engineering programs, because we are taking this to each professional leaders. We were selected because of a high IQ or the IQ needed to qualify for the program for you to accomplish. And what determines, today, specifically because we're talking here for healthcare workers, that does our patient trust us? Does our team follow you? Are you burning out or are you thriving? And that's what, determines where you are in the spectrum of emotional intelligence, or we call it an emotional quotient. So in other words, IQ gets us, hired. And then emotional quotient that we say gets you through your day. Intelligent quotient knows, intelligent quotient is what you know, and emotional quotient is what you do with what you feel. So basically, knowing to doing, right? And then as we move forward in our journey and learn about spiritual quotient, that's where we reach our being, So that's where the spectrum of from knowing to doing to being. And it's such a beautiful journey. When you finish the whole program, you'll kind of experience that. And when I was looking up emotional quotient, that what could I add more, catering to what we're doing here together for 11 days. So I was looking up the research, and it showed that, that 70% of the medical errors linked not because of lack of knowledge, but to poor communication and emotional regulation under stress. When we are on calls, or when we're working those long shifts, or we haven't had enough sleep, and our emotional quotient is all over the place without we even being aware of it. And you'll see that any successful leaders have very well balanced emotions, which means they're firm in what they want to do without being affected with the criticism. And when I say boss versus leader, right? When you call somebody a boss, when a boss comes, everybody's straightening up. Whereas when there's a leader, everybody's thriving to be with him and to get connected and, share and get whatever you. So that's the big difference, I think. For clinicians, what I felt is most important. We'll see the whole presentation is beautiful. I'll try to do best justice to it, but I think mainly there are like 4 pillars I feel for clinicians as providers, or at the bedside or wherever you are in your journey. So self-awareness, we talked a lot about self-awareness. Can I name what I'm feeling? When you say aware, is like, are you really able to tell what you're feeling in this moment? Is it anger? Is it helplessness? Is it frustration? Not as a doctor, not as a nurse, but as a human, not as a robot. That's number 1. Number 2, self-management, or we say regulation. Can I pause between my triggers and response? Between a rude patient and my reply? I worked in addiction medicine, and of course, was challenged so many times where I said, let me take a moment and I come back. And that's when I learned more about how important it is. Sometimes we regulate that, as our job warrants us, but do we do the same thing in personal relationship, like, with community, at a spiritual organization, at your family communities, in our own family? Do we really take that moment to say, let me step out of this and come back to it? Doing as a professional because you're getting paid for it is one thing, but truly understanding that it's not really you, other person, it is the situation. And it is okay to disagree. Good, as we say, the trust is not built on agreements or the meetings on what we speak. Trust is built on good disagreements. When together we can have a good disagreements, whether it's your, any relationship. That's what I personally felt, after doing this program. And then, of course, the most important, I already talked about it as a self relationship management, regulation. I like to call it more as a regulation instead of managing, because we don't want to manage it. We want to thrive it. We want to regulate so that it gives us a foundation and not just managing it. So can I protect the relationship and my heart? And you'll see most of the time we are protecting the relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's with family member, whether it's with your friends, when there's conflict with your business partners, with your work partners. But important thing is, am I able to protect my heart at the same time? Because healing truly doesn't happen when one person proves that they're right. It happens when two people care more about connection than winning or than being right. Whether it's your professional organization, spiritual organization, with anywhere. So it's more important to understand that what do you value, your connection to this particular situation, place, people, circumstance, or is it important for you to being right? Emotions are just the data. Uh, that's how I look at it, that not the directives. Um, Anger is the data that a value is crossed. It doesn't matter where it is, what it is. Anxiety is a data that something matters. Burnout is a data that you've been carrying without refueling. Don't judge that emotion. The goal of emotional intelligence is to not suppress or deny or manage that emotion, to experience it fully in completeness of it, but not becoming one. If you're feeling sad, not become sad. You don't want to be experience that. Okay, this is something really sad, but you don't want to become that sadness. Experiencing pain is a normal human experience. It doesn't matter, but not becoming that pain. It's okay to experience that. Um, so, not to judge it, it's to read it and feel it, and wait for that trigger in between. And then instead of reacting, that's when it turns into response, when you've taken that pause moment. So tonight, when we go through the presentation or after the meditation, what I really suggest is don't try to control your emotions. Try to name them first. So you recognize it. Am I feeling lonely? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? Am I resenting something? Or I feel okay, it was too long, it was too short, whatever it may be. Are you being judgmental? It doesn't matter. It's okay to be that way because we are programmed to do that. But as long as we recognize where we are, they say that naming an emotion reduces its power by 50%. That's neuroscience. That's not me. As long as we be aware and we name it, so thank you. Lead in practice, that's where I feel it makes a difference. Emotional labeling meditation, that's how I look at it, that I'm feeling today and it is okay. So that's what I say that personally, what I would like to say for the presentation. But let me quickly share. It's a very usually we do this over a master class and we have quite a bit of time with this, but keeping the time in mind, I will try to get through. And we may not get through all, but we'll try. Let's see.
So, Nalji might have to share the others. Yeah, now it's good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Kiran, sir. I think with experience, I've learned it. It's just till I work with two screens. So the reason I wanted to bring this, we've already seen this, but we talked about knowing to, we did see these slides and we'll see this over and over. As you see in here, the three brains that we know, the neocortex, where it's a logical abstract. So now think of it in terms of learning thinking brain. Then you see our emotions, empathy, prenatal, our limbic system, right? So that's more of our subconscious mind, and that's a doing brain. And then we have the survival, the reproduction that we talk about, right? The being brain. so it'll all make sense, but I still wanted to bring that start at this point. That think of this as a learning, thinking brain, then it's the doing brain, and then it's the being brain, which is your unconscious mind. And this is another beautiful slide. So if you look here, let's see, I'm gonna try and drop this. So amygdala is the emotion center. We all heard from Dr. TKG in the beginning that it gets hijacked in a stressful situation. So if you look at this whole connection, it's a very good slide that they have made. So here's typical amygdala hijack when that happens is, thalamus is someone is shouting. Then your eye, when you go to neocortex, saying, oh, don't worry, it's your wife, just smile, right? And then I says, she's taking a rolling pin. The neocortex says, let me think, stay calm. And then the I says, she's coming fast. And then the thalamus, sorry, neocortex, we have no time to think. Amygdala takes charge. So basically what this is depicting is that how all of this is working together in just fraction of seconds. And then how does all this help? Like why are we looking at this? Like what is it the next thing? What are we trying to say here? So we've seen this slide also. So this is really, really beautiful. If you look on the right side, okay, this prefrontal cortex, here's your hippocampus, this is your amygdala. So what is emotional regulation? What does it do when we do the meditation? So meditation allows neural rewiring between the amygdala, like right here you see in this little box here. So what it does is it rewires between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, right? And we've seen this slide before. So when you are doing meditation, somebody who's doing meditation, their prefrontal cortex is going to be able to give conscious response. And then, because they have now learned that, and without meditation, you get into that hijack, your amygdala gets hijacked, and then unconscious brain will keep doing reactions, right? So when you hear different masters that, oh, I feel so much grounded, so much happier, I think I'm doing much better, I'm able to react less. That's the first thing you see subtly, that, okay, instead of fighting 10 times, maybe I'm fighting 3 times. Or instead of losing my temper at all times, I am able to control it a little better. So what changed? You haven't read as much books. All you've done is just done meditation and maybe talked about few concepts. So what is really happening? So that is why I wanted to show that, that really speaking, this is what is going on internally. And then we're going to not worry about these slides because it's going to be taking. So this is, where we're talking about learning, which is knowing. And then from there, we go to doing. And then from there, our goal is for being. Once we're in that being state, we are aligned to who really we are, to our purpose, to our, then we are experiencing consciousness, everything as a whole. So nerve cells that fire together, wire together, right? We know all of this. So 100 billion neurons that we have. So neocortex collects, and stores. Learning is making a new synaptic connections. Recollecting is making the connection stronger. Neural networks for every piece of learning, electrochemical component, right? Simple. Use it or lose it. That's why we say that the key is to keep learning, keep using. It could be anything. It could be your body organs. It could be your memory. It could be, as we say that, we've seen that people who live longest, they're always learning something new. They're always, working. They're not giving up that, oh, because I'm this and so old. The reason for this one is we're going to go from learning to doing today. And I just want you all to just glance at this. We have, beautiful presentation talks about each slide. So basically, what is emotional intelligence? So what happens when you do meditation? You become more self-aware. You are able to express better. You have more inspiration to do things. You become creative. You become more empathetic. You are engaging, not just being there in the meeting. This is another beautiful slide. So it says monk in the mirror begins when you see what others don't see. So meaning when you say I'm more aware of what? Aware of, you're realizing that better memories or the past experiences are your triggers. When we are expectations, when we say no judgments, what do you mean by that? So it's like when you have expectation turns into judgments. Attachments, because we are attached to it, we react to it, right? If anything happens, the only reason you react is because you're attached to it. It could be anything. It could be a relationship. It could be your work. It could be your car. Anything happens, you are attached to it. That's why you're reacting to it. So when you look at this, self-awareness, so of feelings and reactions, recognize your emotions, moods, judgments, understands. When you're walking, if you're working in an operating room or when you're working, teaching a class or whatever, are you able to recognize the emotions in the room? Is your resident feeling the same today? Is your nurse happy today? Somebody who's always happy, why is she quiet? Just being more aware of the situation of the room that you're walking in, pausing and acting, about oneself's worth, carry higher vibration. Why is it important? So when you're doing the meditation, automatically all of this happens to you. As we practice mindfulness, being in the present moment, because most of the time we do everything as a routine. You walk in, you get up, take your stethoscope, keep going. Instead of taking that, if you're fully present there, that I'm here for you. When you look in the eyes and say, you know what, I'm here for you. Same thing in your family members, your relationship. Doesn't matter. You can disagree, you can fight, and you'll see most of the good couples or good relationship is thriving. It's not because they don't have disagreements, because they are there for each other, present, not because that they have to do it. We have a lot of relationship where they're managing that, it's just better to be quiet and not say, but then you're not protecting your heart. Remember, the first thing what I said is protecting your heart at the same time. That is the key for emotional intelligence. So as you see, reaction becomes response, when you're understanding that, okay, someone's having a difficult moment, someone is not being in their state. It's okay. You can pause. They may be wrong, they may be right. It doesn't matter right now. But we can pause and not react. We can respond. And you'll see that, all meditators do this very well. And you'll see that difference in your own self. This is another very beautiful slide. It says to express its truth, it needs to be emptied. It sinks because it wants to express. So if you're wanting to express, if you're full of anger, full of resentment, full of unhappiness, and we're trying to put up something, it's not going to be expressing. It's just managing, So in order for it to sing, you have to first be empty of all the things that doesn't serve us, So I thought this is very beautiful and we can all relate to it. Express what's important, positivity, not blame. You'll see that once you are meditating, we all start taking more responsibility, meaning we're not blaming, oh, this didn't happen. Nobody showed up because, they didn't advertise much. They did not take it to anybody. We don't say it that way. What we say is, it was wonderful, because I remember when we're doing these Thrive programs, 11 days program, the numbers do matter, right? When you're new, oh, how many people attended? That's the first thing people will ask you. So I always discuss this with Chandra sir when we started this regional, language programs. And he said, Sonal, you always remember that there was only one Buddha. So in our lifetime, if we can create one Buddha, it could be ourselves. That's good enough. It doesn't matter. So that's when you don't blame that, oh, they didn't pay for the advertisement. They should have, told these people. So we don't realize it, but unknowingly or knowingly, we have a lot of expectations, a lot of judgments, and then we blame a lot too. So that's when you realize that, blaming and claiming will go away as soon as your emotional intelligence or the emotional quotient is up or stronger than before. You take the responsibility of what can I do as a team member. I did my best, but can I do a little more than what I already did? Sure, why not? We have the courage to become authentic, truthful. The only time we just mask things, we sometimes don't want to be untruthful, but then we are keeping silent. We are not saying anything. Sometimes we're angry and then we don't want to, we want to avoid an argument or we don't want to agree and then we just go in silence. But that doesn't mean that the silence is with love and peace, or is it the ignorant silence? So that's where you see the difference. If something you didn't like it, you have the patience to go back and say, you know what, I understand you, this was not something you meant, but this is not something that I appreciate. Maybe, you can let me know in a better way. So you learn to express at the same time, not slash at people. No need to prove the point because you're not really, that people pleasing, pleasing the boss or your leader is not any more relevant, because you don't not looking for external validation when you're emotionally intelligent. And recognizing that, as I said, silence is also a form of expression, but in which way? When you are silent in a meeting, because you're respecting what others are saying, even though you may not agree or disagree, right? So from managing to being integral, and so it shows before and after. So that's why I'm kind of, taking time to make that click. Self-accountability experiences what is important, inspired with life and work, goes into details, goes into the flow, takes ownership, aligns to what's given, becomes the manager's delight, which means you have the creative solution. For example, this is not the right time to do this program, but at the same time, some people came forward and said, this is great. So then I say, oh my goodness, I have a choice of being angry and slashing, and then otherwise saying, wow, that's amazing that people came together and see what I can do in it. So you kind of jump into it, you kind of appreciate everybody's effort, even though it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. So that is what happens when you are, it's like a litmus test to your own self. No one has to tell you that your emotional intelligence is better or worse. You know from your own life that everything around you, each of your relationship, whether it is with you, with your family members, with your workers, with your coworkers, with your friends, how is it? How are you doing in it? And that itself determines that where you are in that. Does that mean that we are again going to criticize and judge? No. This is your own litmus test that you know where you want to be and where you are in the spectrum. And of course, do what you love. This is one of the most courageous things I've heard from Chandra sir. And most of the time, people are doing things that they don't like. And that's where is the true trouble, I've known so many people that they've given up one of the best professions that they thought would bring them some material energy. But the moment they realize, when you become a yogi, you realize what's important to you. Do you really loving what you're doing? And that's when you're going to thrive, and that's when you're going to do well. So you will have the courage because you know that if you're good at it and you love what you do, it's going to give you success in all spectrums, without being burnout. Empathy, of course, no complaints, no judgments. And I think most of the senior masters will agree to this, that once we do regular meditation, definitely we have reduced, complaining and judging, depending on where you are. We I think understand others' point of view more. And sometimes when, as I said, we're not judging, we said it's okay, that's how they want to do it. We'll figure it out next time. So there's no complaints, allows you to failures to happen as a learning path. Everything that we thought we didn't do well, or we failed, or we wasted, our time, our resources, our money, instead of saying, oh, they didn't decide this, they decided this venue, they went to go to, they didn't go with the vendors that I thought. So instead of complaining and judging, we learn from it that, okay, maybe next time we can do it this way, or why don't we try this way? So that's a big, big thing. Sirs always said that if you're still judging and you're still complaining, it doesn't matter where you are in, that means you need to meditate more. So when I have hard days and when I find myself complaining today about everything, then I know that I need to sit for my meditation. That's how, we already talked about the trust. What is it in for me changes to what is it in for others. That's a sign of a leader with a great emotional intelligence. And of course, your listening skills improve. You feel the responsibility and you take initiative for everyone's success. You want all of us to thrive, more confident in the way you express things, and become a natural leader. So I think this is one of my last slides. And I think what I wanted to show you, end with this one, is that how everything changes, once you are a meditator and your emotional intelligence quotient strengthens, you become more self-aware. You'll start responding instead of reacting. You will become an integral part in doing everything instead of just managing things. You're going to love what you do instead of doing, what you love. Empathy to all others. And, I'm sure everybody knows the difference between sympathy and empathy. We've talked a lot of times. And engaging, as I said, following, you're leading. So from the follower, you start leading. So I think it's one of the things that I realized that, it's good to feel. Earlier, I was feeling everything, but at the same time, I was becoming that. And that's when I realized the beauty is to not stop what you're feeling. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to feel all of it, but realizing that you are not that pain. You are not that emotion. Emotion is, energy in motion. So instead of being one, you just see it as a witness that, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I do better next time? So that's when you don't need conflict resolution or the anger management. Really, what you need underneath is your emotional intelligence is so weak that everything becomes, we say it very normally, oh, he's very short-tempered or she's very short-tempered. But no, they need him. And you'll see that. It happens at every level. So with that, dear friends, let's all have an intention, see how you're feeling today, and get ready for our meditation, acknowledging that feeling that we have in our heart today. So take a comfortable position, remove your glasses. If you're wearing any smart watches, please remove it. Relax, scan your body from top to bottom. Close your eyes, take those nice, slow, relaxing breaths. We'll do heart elevation before we start our breath mindfulness meditation process, dear friends and masters. Let's put all our attention to this beautiful moment, this sound mind and healthy body, and scanning from head to bottom, realizing, how am I feeling today? Becoming aware of our breath, all our attention, and observing our thoughts.
masters. With your specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands on your chest area and resting your attention on your beautiful heart. With a slow, long, relaxing breath, connect with your heart center. Feel it to your brains. Notice the beat, the rhythm of your heart. Your inner knowingness. Feel the center of all emotions, nurturing all life with its higher vibrations of love, compassion, gratitude. Can you recollect an experience from your past? Or simply going into an experience of higher emotion? Imagine that you are experiencing great, beautiful nature. You're trekking into mountains. You are helping people in need. Relive that moment and feel that energy. And allow yourself to direct that energy onto everyone and everything on this planet to help them heal. Where your attention goes, there your energy flows. Relive that moment and feel that energy and spread that energy to everyone, to everything, or to those who are in need. The more you experience love, compassion, deep joy, the more coherent you become. The more connected you become. and slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. We are going into powerful group meditation. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. With your attention at the root of your nose, when you observe your breath, your mind becomes less and less of thought. As your mind is becoming empty, allow yourself to experience the deeper calmness inside of you, all around you. yourself to merge into your breath and allow yourself to experience emptiness, blackness. Where there's no body, where there's no thing. All emptiness is energy. The quantum field of infinite possibilities. The field of wholeness, the field of oneness. The longer you stay aware of this emptiness, this energy, the more you become of it, the more you receive from it. stay aware of the emptiness, that calmness, this field of energy, the field of creation. The more you are with it, with this emptiness, the more you tune in. The miraculous possibilities. The more expansive you become. If you find yourself distracted in thought, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to go into that emptiness. This is your divine self, your greater mind. The more you are with it, the more whole you become, the more empowered you become. Friend, can you express gratitude to all things and everyone? Express gratitude to your parents for giving this beautiful connection to life. Be grateful to your teachers and mentors for expanding your knowledge and wisdom. Give thanks to everyone in your life, your family, friends, colleagues, relatives, partners, for helping you learn and experience many things. Be grateful to this grand nature, the fish, the bird, the animal, the planet, stars, sun, moon, Mother Earth, for all the energy, beauty, mystery, and more in our life. For gratitude to everything you use, the system, the company, the governments, the technology that supports our life in many, many ways. Gratitude to yourself for caring for you, for caring for others, and to this intelligent universe for helping us experience this life. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Recollect your experiences from the session. How did you feel? What have you seen? And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds, and then you may open your eyes.
Welcome back, dear friends. So I hope everybody heard Chandra sir's when he's bringing you back, that how are you feeling? Recollect your experiences and how are you feeling? What all did you see? So now you'll kind of know what we mean when we say, how are we feeling? Are you feeling more relaxed? Are you feeling, more calmer? So together, when we use this meditation as a tool to strengthen our emotional intelligence. And then through quantum field or the quantum science understanding, we're realizing that we are that energy. And once you realize that energy, and you use a meditation to strengthen your emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, and then that's when you become a co-creator. Instead of putting our energies all over the place, that's what now I experience more of what it is to be a co-creator. So, from knowing to doing, and then we have at the end of the program, we'll be talking about spiritual quotient, that how you can move your stages to actually the being state. That is our goal. So with that, friends, I open it up for any questions or any comments. Anything anybody want to share? Thank you, everyone who has joined. I do see something in the chat. I do see still, it's early morning in India, so I can understand everybody's either waking up or getting ready or on their way to work. For us in the West here, it's in the evening. We're at the end of our day. So I see it'll be helpful when people put their cameras on, and I understand, depending on where you are. But the more attention you give, the more you will reap the benefits. Good to see you, Padmaji. I'm wonderful. Any experience, anything you want to share?
I'm new to this, and I'm impressed with your eloquence and ability to explain this. I feel like I'm seeing bits and pieces of the elephant, but I don't have the whole picture yet. I'm trying to understand, and
Okay.
but I'm excited about doing this, and hopefully I'll be able to continue.
That's excellent, and we all have been through this. Trust me. I was like, wow, we understand, but at the same time, we know a lot of this stuff. It's just in a different way. We're looking at more as a scientific approach and understanding the reality from a different perspective. As I said, it's not anything different than what we know. We've all learned this. We all know this. It's just putting it all the puzzle pieces together. So all I say is give yourself 1 week and you'll see the difference. I totally can relate to you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking that time.
Thank you.
Yes, Gigi. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sonalji. I just want to add one important element, and that is this emotional intelligence is so important for all of us, but definitely as healthcare providers.
Yes.
A lot of medical schools in this country, like the Harvard and Stanford, they're looking at the quality of medical students coming into the program and what is the end result of these very bright, academically bright medical students going through the 4 years of residency. And they see a disconnect. And the disconnect is they see these doctors who are very bright, but they're not able to have good communication skills with their patients. They cannot communicate. So, in other words, it has a lot of issues related to this emotional intelligence. So, they're really looking the whole medical model to see where did we go wrong all these years? And they're looking at students who have a humanities background, communication backgrounds, with a lot of emotional intelligence as one of the metrics, not just the MCAT scores or the GPA. So it becomes vitally important to seek this emotional intelligence as one of the metrics, more important, especially in our line of work when we deal with patients. If we are not able to deliver a good communication with our patients with empathy and compassion, I think we are in the wrong profession.
No, I
You
think
know?
I totally agree. And that's why we
Yeah.
see a high burnout rate, high dropout
Yeah.
rate, because it's all about not only maintaining, but also building relationship, right, with your patients. You are there in the worst of situations. It could be anywhere from, prevention to critical illness to death. And you're the one who's delivering all of that. So we've, as you said, the knowledge is there, but we haven't learned to communicate and be empathetic. And again, without not being caught up in the emotion and the stress. So how do you stay unaffected from all of it? So it's okay to feel, but it's that small window between the trigger and the response. Not every situation needs our reaction or the response. Once we understand that, and that's where the silence comes in, right? In medical profession, that when something happens, when we are facing a situation of death, the best presence we can give is just being present there in silence. And so, yeah, it is so true, and I can experience it and vouch it that we all have that loving heart and we all have that compassion. But somewhere along in the training period, as you said about residents, those late nights, those call nights, that studying material, they're so stressed out. The stress completely takes over, and then being successful, and that's when the anxiety kicks in. And they have missed out on that social skills, establishing that relationship. So, having bedside manners, having to, respond in all situation. As I said, you walk in a room and are you feeling the emotions in the room? How's your operating room looking like today? How's your clinic looking today? Instead of just grabbing and going. So a lot of that is to do with your emotional intelligence, and the more strengthen your emotional intelligence is, the more stronger your quotient is, the better provider, better leader, better, you're going to thrive in every aspect of your relationship. So with that, we could go on and on. It's such a beautiful topic. Usually we take 2 to 3 days over it. But I'm sure everyone going through the program will definitely, first and foremost, change the relationship with your own self and how you see yourself. And, the first thing will happen is your reactions will slowly move into responses. So thank you again for everyone's time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Balwant, sir, for joining every day and
Thank you.
enjoying the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonal ma'am, for the wonderful session. Does anyone is having any questions or want to share an experience?
How is everybody's meditation? Whoever is doing first time, are you all enjoying the music, the meditation, anything? It could be just anything. Was it too long? Was it too short? You thought you could sit for longer?
The time is, I think, adequate. Can be little shorter, but the voice that comes during the meditation music can be little bit louder. Now it can be because my hearing might have been, I might have a little bit of hearing loss, but
Do you have your volume to the highest?
yeah, the volume is to the highest. But what happens? The music is, at that juncture I feel music louder than the voice coming in. I'm able
I
to
see.
understand, but then the music is louder at that juncture. But it might be, I might have some hearing loss also.
So what you're saying is that you like to listen instead of hearing the music?
No, I really enjoy the music, but I like to listen also.
Okay. So I think these are pre-recorded. So we'll see what we can do. Maybe one day we'll try and just play the music and do the live guidance. Maybe we'll try that.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for the feedback. We'll definitely let the team know. Yes, sir. Please. You are already unmute. Dr. KV Raghunathanji, namaste.
Namaste. What I feel is 6 to 7 goes off like 5 minutes.
What is it?
I don't feel that 6 to 7 goes off in as if it's only 5 minutes.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't feel like coming out when you stop the music. Feel like continuing my meditation.
Yeah.
I felt it should be a little longer. The music should be little.
You are ready to join our long meditation now, sir. I think because it's an initial program, but we can definitely, if everybody agrees, we can always do, especially on a Saturday, that is tomorrow, we can do a longer meditation. Because
Thank you.
it's Friday night, today's Thursday night for us. Tomorrow will be a Friday. So, when it's your weekend in India, if everybody agrees, we can definitely go for a 40 minutes longer meditation. And we didn't plan on this 11 days, But I think most of us are involved in meditation in one or the other way. So we'll definitely decide as a team, and we'll kind of do that. So thank you.
The whole day is feeling very comfortable after long meditation. That's what I felt. Thank you. Thank you for your.
Thank you.
And I'm having one announcement. From the Buddha CEO app, there was an upcoming 40 days program is there from July 27th to 4th September. I'll post the registration link in the group, and if someone, like, I encourage actually everyone to join and make the most of the wonderful opportunity. Chandra sir will be teaching that. I think so. The classes were also so deep than what we are seeing now. Because of time is very less and it's 11 days program. We were just saying everything as a brief now. But 40 days program will be having like a complete topics of everything. So I encourage everyone to join that. Thank you.
Now, is that only for medical professionals or non-medical professionals can
No,
also?
it's for everyone.
Everyone. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for everyone. Everyone can join that.
Sure. Thank you.
It is one of their flagship program where is the platform for all to join. And then later on, we have some, where we try to cater to younger adults or, different languages and different age groups. So that's where, they have the coach program where everyone, when you say coach, you are already a coach in your life. It's just learning how to say what to say. And they want to make sure that when you're representing Buddha CEO, you're kind of going with their lines, because we all, like, for example, I'm a Jain. I believe in Satya Sai Baba. So I don't want to bring in all my religious and my values in it. You are kind of, this is a scientific based program. So you want to kind of stick to that. So that's the whole thing about the training. But again, they're so open that here is your material. You become a coach and say you have something where you want to start your own or you want to tweak it in your own way. They're very, very welcome. That's where all different projects and stuff like that, what they offer. I think we have a whole presentation on that at the end time. So you will get a lot more to see what all you could do with this knowledge and everything. So thank you. Thank you, Bhavya.
If no one is having any question, we'll end the session now.
Yes, because it's very late in the East Coast. Thank you, Kiran sir, for handing out this.
Thank you.
I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest.
Good night, everyone.